College football Saturday, baby. Here we are at today. We're going to go over 5 teams over, under on their wins based off their schedule and all the other good stuff for them. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Welcome to Lock It In. My name's Tanner Dawson. Join with me, of course, Scott Cobb, Alan Perales on the Rec Room Sports Hub. Guys, happy Saturday. We are only a few weeks away from week 0. Only a few weeks. We can do it. We can make this.
So the 5 teams that you gave, 3 I've made future bets on, and I made a 4th bet. I bet Hawaii over Stanford.
There it is.
I can't.
Hawaii bet's already in play.
I can't shake them. Sorry. I just can't do it. I have to go see a psychiatrist about my Hawaii problem.
Oh, man. So, yeah, today, guys, we're going to be discussing 5 teams. We're going to predict their over-under of what the line is as of when I put this prep in the other day. And we're going to see where we're at. Some of us might have different answers. Some of us, it might go both ways, but go find your value. Get these over-unders in, because some of them could surprise you on their win totals. So, but it should be quite interesting here. I got a little range, right? So, I got some smaller schools, and we're going all the way up to a few big schools. So, a potential national champ favorite. 1 possibly. So, but we'll see if we all agree on that. So stay tuned, guys. Are we ready? Are we ready to get into this? College football Saturday?
Yep.
All right, let's get into it. Let's pop it in.
You go out.
First team on the books, the Boise State Broncos. As you can see, their schedule below me here. Their over-under currently is 9.5 wins, which I'm a little surprised at, considering that JT's gone and they lost a few guys as well. But I'll be curious to see what your takes are based off this schedule here, because I do see a little Notre Dame action. I do see a little New Mexico, a UNLV, a San Diego State, and a Colorado State, which we always know get people fit. So, but we'll kick it off here. Scott, man, I'll let you kick us off. What we got for Boise State? Over, under 9.5 wins.
So I went over. I think they're the class of the Mountain West. There's some teams in there that are improved, like Air Force will be better. Colorado State, who was okay, will be better, I think. The backfield is not the Ashton Jeanty backfield of last year, but they do have 2 guys that could not get to the production of Jeanty, but get to the next level. So I went over. Their 2 running backs are Malik Sherrod and Sire Gaines, who's a freshman. So they're gonna run the ball. That's what they do, and then they'll mix in the pass. So I think they're the class of the Mountain West. I see them winning 10 games this year. I think they're gonna lose to Notre Dame, obviously. And the other one could either be Colorado State or UNLV, and that's it. So I'm going to go with them at 10-2 this year. So I'm going to go over, slight over, but over.
Alan, what we got, man? Over under 9.5.
I'm going to go slightly under. I think they'll be a 9-win team this year. I think they'll still be good. I think they'll. It'll take a minute to get everything situated. The Air Force game is not going to be easy. Say what you will about them. They're going to be a little bit better. App State is not going to be easy. I don't think they'll beat Notre Dame, especially if they have to go to Notre Dame. I do think either Fresno State or San Diego State can catch them in that regard. But yeah, I see 9. with them. I think they'll still be kind of in contention for that final playoff spot down to the end, and then I think they're going to get bit at the end. So I'll say 9-3.
See that, Tanner, before you go, see that first game? It's probably going to be about 95 degrees and humid as heck. So
plus you're going from Idaho to Florida, so that's not going to be fun.
Exactly. So there could be a lot of cramping, a lot of guys tired early. First game of the year in South Florida. That's not an easy game either.
It's going to be humid. It's going to be humid.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Know? So. Is Madison still quarterback? Still accurate, right? So yes. I mean, you had a guy who threw over 2,900 yards last year, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Returning back there, you talked about the freshman there. I believe they have a couple other guys, a Utah transfer as well, that came into play. Jalen Glover, but really, I mean, I think these guys ranked in as favorites to win this conference. And the way this program has, been built and being built, 9.5 is probably right where I'd mark them here. So I think that line is accurate. But for me here, because UNLV, I think they take a step back here this year. Not much, but I don't think they're going to be as great. I like your take on Air Force and App State. I was highlighting them as well. But in the end, I mean, those App State at home game with the App State, your tough game, the back and forth there towards back half of the season here for me. I'm taking the over. I think I'm going to take it over to 9.5. I think Boise State will be a team we're talking about come mid-October. So at this point,
two bets with Boise State that people should be aware of. To win the Mountain West, they're -150. And to make the college football playoff again, the yes is +180, the no is -230. So if you think Boise can be that small school that gets in, +180 is not a bad price to go. Almost 2 to 1.
No. So yeah, and you're looking at one of the beat writers too for Boise, BJ Rains. His big statement on August 1st was anything under 10 wins would disappoint this roster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the over here. I'll take the over, and we'll rock it there. So Allen has the under, the other two here with the over. So
one thing I've always seen with some of these smaller schools is that every time they have a big season, the year following, they're usually a little bit under where they're expected to be. We saw it with Hawaii when they made the Sugar Bowl. Not to bring up Hawaii for your mental health, Scott, but we saw it with Hawaii in the Sugar Bowl. We saw it with Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl way back when. Usually when we see one of these smaller school teams have a wonderful, great season, they usually drop off the year after. So that's why I went the under as well.
That's why you went the under? Yeah. And let's see here. I'm pulling up. Lord of mercy. They say go get ChatGPT 5, and it's slower than molasses. That's cool. Whatever. I don't think Boise State's one of those teams, though. I think the school and this program has built a pretty good foundation among recruits, and I mean they continue to be in the mix, right? So
and I think
Pac-12 team next year.
Yep.
I think anytime you go to Boise, it's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. Look at that blue turf.
Love that blue turf.
I mean, Oregon almost lost to them in Boise last year.
Yep.
Yeah,
so. They're forced. So, all right, we'll move on here. Next up here, the team Scott wants to talk about the most, James Madison, one of our favorite and also hated teams. When we do bet them at times when we screw up, but over under 7.5 wins here. The schedule here below. This team is such a weird team. Every year, ever since the guy gave me any job for it. But Alan, I'll let you kick us off here. Over under 7.5 wins for James.
I mean, you look at their schedule. Most of the teams that they play are all the small school powerhouses, right? Liberty, App State, Coastal Carolina at the end of the year, Texas State, who we are very high on,
The
Louisiana, Raging Cajuns, who've always been that steady team. Old Dominion, I guess, might give them a challenge, but I'm not sure on that. And then, of course, two tough Power 5 games. You got Louisville, and then you got Washington State, even though Washington State's independent. I'm going to go over because I think this team is going to be a playoff contender out of the group of 5 schools. And I think they have the schedule. You look at the schedule, they have the schedule to not only be a group of 5 contender, but maybe make it into the top 10 if they are able to run the table with this schedule. Because you have a couple Power 5 wins. You have wins over, top tier group of 5 schools. Like I said, Coastal Carolina, App State, that could put them over the edge in the eyes of the committee. So I would say the over in the 7.5.
Okay. That's fair. Scott, what do you got, man?
So I personally think the reason why they're 7.5 is because they went 8-4 last year, and everybody thought they were going to win 10 games. Yeah. So I think that's why their win total is down at 7.5. I'm going to pick them to go over. They have to run the ball successfully. If they run the ball successfully, that's how they win their games, is running the ball. That Louisville game is going to be a really good game, I think. I think James Madison and Louisville are 2 of the better teams in the country. So I could see James Madison and Louisville being within a touchdown of each other in that game. So I'm going to go over. Again, they got to run the ball. They got some transfers in. They hit the portal really hard, so they brought some guys in that can help them. Offensive line's a key for them. They don't have much depth there. So they're going to have to avoid injuries. If they get injured on the offensive line, they could be in serious trouble. So I think if they're going to win, they're going to be like 9-3, 8-4 again. I don't know if they can win their conference, but I do think that they can be there in the end and be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the conference to win it. So I'm going to go over.
Yeah, I think this team is going to be in the conversation all year long. They'll have their disappointing losses like they normally do on us and stuff like that. But you're looking at, according to ESPN, returning 74% of your returning production to this team here, right? That's 8 offensive and 7 defensive starters coming back. I believe Alonzo Barnett, who tore his ACL last year, he's ahead of schedule, but he also went out and got the Syracuse guy, Rio Wilson, I think it is. So I don't think you're going to be hurting a quarterback by any means, even if Barnett's not quite ready to go, which he probably won't be. But Rio Wilson here, I think, can help out and keep this team moving. Look, I love that Louisville game there. I love the Liberty right after that. Those are going to be 2 fun weeks here for that. The Lions will be interesting when that comes out too.
And you get a week off in between them too, so that's good for that.
Yeah, and both on the road, so it'll be interesting there. And then you're looking too, like you're returning, your defense that was 13th national ranked last year. So with a couple guys there per VSIN. So, 7.5 shouldn't be too big of a deal. Beat writer here, Shane Metlin, realistic path to 9-3 or better. And I'd have to agree here. I'd have to agree. Anything less than 9-3, it would be a disappointment for this team here. So we are taking the over on the 7.5 wins here for James Madison.
And then to win their conference is plus 290. So
I'd take that too.
I'll take that. I bet that already this morning when I started going through the final preparations for these teams. So it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Hey, it's a potential. It's a potential in their final year, right, Alan? Final year?
Yeah, something like that.
Take it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Speaking of Louisville, we're moving into Louisville here. Another team that can produce some offense last year. They were an offensive machine on points here. And you can see their schedule listed below here. Kentucky, SMU, Clemson. Those last 3 weeks should be a very entertaining time for this team here. We'll look here. We got Miami right after the bye week. And you can notate there's James Madison game right before their other bye week. So a couple of early bye weeks on their schedule too. So they have a gauntlet run within the conference outside of Kentucky there. So this should be interesting. 8.5 is their over under currently here. Scott, what do we got here for Louisville?
I love this schedule. This schedule sets up really well for them to be a double-digit win team. I went to a site called walternolan.com where they do predictions, and they predicted Louisville to go 11-1 this year.
Holy cow.
So they really like them as well. I think 11-1 or 10-2, something like that. So a couple quick things about Louisville. They were 7-0 when quarterbacks hit 65% completion percentage or less. So to me, their secondary is the key. If their secondary is aggressive and their secondary limits quarterbacks from completing passes, they will be in great shape. I can see them being undefeated up until the second bye. James Madison's going to be a tough game for them, but then they get a bye, and then they get a bye before one of the bigger games, which is Miami of Florida, and then they play Clemson. But they have Clemson at home. So Kentucky's not very good. And then they got SMU. So they have 3 games on their schedule that are highlighted as tough games. Other than that, they can win every other game that they play. So if they win 2 of those 3 games against Miami, Clemson, and SMU, they're going to be in the ACC championship game, and they're going to be 11-1. So I like Louisville to go over. I really do. I think this team's going to be in the playoff conversation all year long. So, and they're going to be a top 10 team, I think, at some point this year in the ranking. So I'm going to go over on them. I like them a lot this year.
Okay. I like it. Alan.
Yeah, I'm going to go over too. I think their schedule is very favorable. Obviously, James Madison's going to be tough at the beginning. A couple of their road games that I might be wary of. Obviously, going to Miami is going to be tough. Virginia Tech, don't sleep on Virginia Tech, especially on the road. That team always comes ready to play, especially at home. So I love that they got Clemson at home because they're going to be a dogfight in that matchup. So that could be for a spot in the ACC championship game for those two teams. So. SMU will be tough on the road in Dallas. That'll be a rough one. And like you said, Scott, Kentucky might be the worst team in the SEC this year. So I'm not very high on them. So I think Louisville will be fine there. I could see them definitely at 10, maybe 11. I would go ahead and say 10 because.
Uh-oh. Bye, Alan.
Well, at least we know it's an over. So,
yep.
On that,
yep.
Whatever happened there. All right. Oh, there he is. Hang on.
God damn it. Thank you, StreamYard. Thank you, Internet.
I told you about Bo's Coast to Coast broadcast yesterday. StreamYard was playing games with them, so.
I think they're winning 10 games. I think they're winning 10 games. I think their only 2 losses will be Clemson and James Madison. So it would suck because they're both home games, but I think those 2 teams are going to give them the most trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense here. Look, you got some of the returning guys on the offensive side that really, pumped your offense here on the especially running back room there. Is it Miller Moss coming in to the QB world, right, from USC? So that should be
from last year.
Yeah, so that should be interesting there. So
I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing.
Well, I think offensively it's probably a good thing. You don't have to worry about him playing defense, so right there.
USC's defense
stinks. They are returning 8 starters as well on defensive side of things here. So it'll be a little interesting here. Like you already talked about the schedule there. I like those I like the fact that James Madison is in Louisville. I like the fact that you got Miami, or not Miami, Clemson as well in Louisville. So, according to the beat writer, Carrier Journal Roundtable, 4 of the 5 riders project 9 or 10 wins for this team here. So, looking at the schedule too, for me, I know we're talking about VTech here, but overall, I don't see a huge concern. I think they win in Miami. I think Miami's gonna be overblown this year anyway. So, yeah, I'll take the over as well on this one for Louisville on the 8.5 wins.
ACC projections has them 4th in the conference at 9-3.
Two bets on them. That one I've already placed. One I'm thinking about. Make the playoff plus 310 for them.
Okay.
To win the ACC championship game is plus 850. So if they play Clemson, I don't know what it is to just make it, but I'm thinking about putting a little bit of money on that one too, because I like them a lot. It's all about up to Miller Moss. If he comes in and he plays quarterback like the way that Louisville wants him to play quarterback, then they could be an 11-win team. If he's just going to turn the ball over, they're going to be like an 8 or 9-win team. So he's the key.
Makes sense to me. All right, cool. All right, we'll keep moving on here. Alan's
gone again.
Now I got Alan back in now because they ruined it. All right, so K-State. Yes, I know I'm wearing Jayhawks here, so I'll try not to talk too much trash here. But K-State, Kansas State here. Interesting team. Avery Johnson. There you got. Where are my notes at for K-State? Because I probably deleted them, because you
deleted them because it's K-State. Why?
Yeah, so you're looking at a team here returning 82% of their production, right? Yeah, Avery Johnson here. I believe entering year 2 as a starter, year 3 on the team, which will be fun to see there how he goes. But Chris Kleiman, guys, he's 40-12 straight up versus non-ranked, so like. He'll definitely get through out of that. I think just fine there. But this should be an interesting schedule there. Because you are on the road at Baylor, which I think is a team. Oklahoma State that we talked about, Arizona. You have to go, and I'll hopefully for God be at this game. The Jayhawks in their new stadium, and K-State's talking quite the smack. So. I'm hoping to be there as well. So
already, they're already talking.
Yeah, dude.
Jeez.
I mean, we don't have room to say nothing. We haven't beat them in a while, so that's probably part of it too. But it'll be good. But they do got Tech at home. So that's the biggest highlight there I see at home. So their home game they should be able to take care of business. So, all right, guys. K-State, Kansas State. You know how to get to K-State from my house? You go
just
west. No. You go west till you smell it, north till you step in it. So, Scott, what do you got for the Kansas State Wildcats?
So this Walter Nolan website, who predicted them at 11-1 this year. 11-1. The only game they predicted them losing at Utah, second to last game of the year. That's the only loss that they predicted. So
that's a friendly site, man.
I know. So against FBS teams, we won't talk about the FCS teams. We'll just talk about the FBS teams. They were 9-0 when they had 1 or 0 turnovers in games. They were 0-4 when they had 2 turnovers. So they very easily, it's all about ball security for them. And if they turn the ball over, they're not going to win games. They can't overcome it. That's what it seems like to me. I'm going to go over 8.5. I think they can be in the Big 12 title contention. I obviously think there's going to be 1 or 2 games that they're going to whoops like last year, that they're just going to mess up and lose. So I could see them going 9-3, 10-2. 11-1, I can't see that with K-State. You have turnover problems. You can't. You're not going to solve them. The quarterback is too aggressive at times. So I'm going to go over, but I think it's going to be a 10-2. And they'll be in the mix with a Big 12 title. No question in my mind. They will be. They got enough talent that they can do it. So,
Okay, Alan, what are you thinking here?
I'm gonna go under. I see 8. There's a 3-game stretch there where I think they're gonna lose 3 in a row. That being Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and Utah. And then I see them losing week 1 in Ireland to Iowa State.
Wow.
I think they'll still be a competitive team in the conference, but I think Iowa State's better. I think Texas Tech's better. I think Oklahoma State is going to get better. I don't think they're quite going to be the top of the conference like they have been, but I think they'll be, Scott, you mentioned it. They usually have 1 or 2 games where it's kind of a disappointment. That's going to be their disappointment game, is they're going to lose in Stillwater. And then Utah's going to be better. And again, that two game road stretch, I'm not a fan of that for them, because the people are going to be like, okay, they're 2-loss team, they still can be in the Big 12 championship. No big deal. They're going to get in, get a rematch with Texas Tech, blah blah blah, and then they drop one. They drop one in Stillwater. They drop one in Utah, and it's like sky's falling. And I'm sure Tanner's going to love that.
Tanner, I'll ask you this before you go. If Allen's right and they lose to Iowa State, can you see the season going down in a spiral? I think they're putting their eggs all in this Iowa State basket that they'll beat them.
I don't know. I don't see a spiral by any means, but I don't hate the 8 wins on this here. And the fact that it is because they're going to Arizona, they go to Baylor, they have to play in the new stadium that Jayhawks just built.
Yep.
So that's going to be insane environment by itself.
Yep.
The atmosphere will be there. Oklahoma State and Utah on the road.
I was about to say Boone Pickens can get wild. So just saying.
Yeah.
As someone who's been in that stadium before, it is crazy.
Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have, let's say, 5 out of 6 home wins on that team, right? That leaves you having to win 4 road games. I don't see it. I'm good. I'm taking the under. My first under. I'm taking the 8 wins. I'm right there with Alan here. And this team should be what Scott was talking about. Should be there. And let's say they get through Iowa State, right? And they get that big win against Arizona, and you're entering at home against UCF 4-0. Then I think Scott's probably leaning that better way. But if you have a loss anytime before UCF or before Baylor, you're probably leaning closer to the 8 wins there, because that's a hell of a stretch at the end here. And we know TCU is no pushover every year. As much as they may not win games, they'll take you to the brink. So for that, so I'm taking the 8 wins. Taking the 8 wins, not because I'm a Jayhawk, because that's a tough schedule at the end.
I will say, if they're 7-0 going into Kansas, they're going to be smack talking like crazy, and I think they'll lose. For sure. They're gonna be like feeling themselves like, oh, we're ultra confident. The Kansas can't beat it, and then they're gonna go into Kansas and get smacked.
And to your point, Scott, putting all their eggs in one game, it seems like every year, whoever the Big 12 champion is, they always do that. They always do that whenever they play the Big 12 champion, because they've done it to us multiple times. That's why we've had a hard time beating them. Even when they're like a 3-4 loss team, they always gave us a run for their money, because they're like, oh, we got to beat the Big 12 champion. We got to beat the Big. That's what Iowa State was last year. They were the Big 12 champions. So they're going to, I kind of agree with you on that end, Scott. I think they're going to throw all their eggs at Iowa State in that game.
Yeah, and the odds to make the college football playoff, plus 380 for a yes and minus 550 for a no. So you know where Vegas is going in this. They think they're not going to win the Big 12 conference, that they're gonna lose it, because that might be the only way they get in, is to win the conference. Mm-hmm. So
the beat writer has Kellis Robinette from KC Star has 9-3 for the record, and it's a KC star. So I disagree. I avoid it.
Yeah. I think they're gonna be 10-2, 9-3 somewhere in there.
Okay, there we go. The Kitty Cats over for Scott, the under for us, Alan and I. So, all right, here we go. Here's the big one. Penn State, these Lions, and this is Scott's already named this team possible national champion. This team, he has to have their best year ever at this point. Okay.
Run the table.
And this is looking at the schedule lined out there, right? I think it was that November 1, right? The highlight there. That's a big one coming off the 18th. Looking at the 27th versus Oregon. You got Nebraska, which we all kind of named as a team that could throw some. It could be a surprise, guys. So we're looking at 10.5 wins for this team. Okay, this is the over/under. Alan, kick us off.
So they're going to beat Oregon because that game's going to be the whiteout game. Any team that goes into Penn State during whiteout is going to have a hard time to play. So I got them beating Oregon. I got them over. I do think they'll be an 11-win team. Their only loss will come at Ohio State. I think the Buckeyes will catch them. But they'll get a rematch in the the Big Ten championship, though. So I think that's where they're going to go. I will say, though, that Nebraska game, even though it's their final home game, it's senior night, that might be a close one. They're going to have to fight in that one. I think Nebraska is going to give them all that they can handle in that last game. So I do have them over at 11-1, but, we'll see.
Scott?
They're going over. I see an undefeated team here. I think Drew Aller runs the Franklin system very well, and their running game is back from last year, and that was their strength. And they've added a couple of wide receivers that can help them out a lot. Don't sleep on Rutgers the last game of the year either. Rutgers, I've read a lot on Rutgers. This is going to be one of the best teams in the Rutgers program's history. So Rutgers could be a 9-win team. That's going to be a tough game at Rutgers, last game of the year. I think they'll beat Ohio State. I just think that, everybody's saying James Franklin can't win the big game, can't do that. Well, the talent on the team is really good this year. And I think that I agree with Alan. Penn State, Ohio State are going to be in the Big Ten championship game. And whether they win or lose that, I have no idea. But I just see an undefeated team here. I like them a lot this year. I've already bet them as national champions. I didn't bet the conference because it's plus 240, decent price. I didn't bet that. I bet them to win the national championship. I think they can do it. This is the team. Oregon's not good. They're not as good this year. Dante Moore at quarterback is not very good for Oregon. He was a UCLA guy in the Chip Kelly, and he failed miserably. So he's getting another shot at starting for a good program, a really good program. I agree with Alan that Penn State has pointed at that game as a whiteout. So
it has been confirmed as the whiteout game.
Yeah, I think they can run the table. I really do. I think they can win every game on this schedule, and I think they will. So I'm going to go over.
Okay. So you both are over? Is that right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
12 games.
I got 11, but yeah, I got 11.
Lose one, right? Lose one. And you're telling me possibly that one there, Ohio State game might be the one at worst? Beat writer for Penn State, Audrey Snyder, said 11 wins requires a near perfect run. Near perfect. And Scott has them at perfect. Scott has this perfect, right? Alan has 11. It's Penn State, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking the under.
I saw that coming.
I knew he was going under.
Taking 10. We're taking 10. Identifying 3 games they lose. Or possible 2 out of 3 games they could lose. I'm still putting I know you just talked about Oregon. I'm still putting Oregon on that as an early schedule one. They
That's
could
what I was
possibly lose that.
If
Iowa.
they lose to Oregon, forget national championship. They're out.
I think Iowa could be a team that surprises them because it's on the road at Iowa for that. And then the Ohio State game, of course, on the road. So, look, Drew Aller, I'm excited to see what he brings. I'm excited to see what this Penn State offense brings. Apparently, they've revamped some of their deep game. I mean, this seems to be a fun points, betting on points here for this offense here. And it's going to be a blast here. The defense should be just as good. But 10.5 is a big number for me. And if we all know how college football works sometimes, it's hard to go perfect. It's hard to have a one-loss team. And I know the schedule's not hard, like big time difficult by any means, but I think there's a couple slip ups. So I'm taking the under, and I'm taking 10 wins on mine. So
they're favored by 44.5 against Nevada. So they're going to have to win that game, they're going to have to put 50 to 55 up against them. Because if Nevada scores one touchdown, you have to put 54 up.
You do
against them.
What are those odds to bet Nevada on that? You remember?
I can check it out real quick.
I'm sure it's like minus 180 or something like that, or 300. Something dumb.
I want to say it was.
I will say this: if there is any year for Penn State to potentially win a national championship, it has to be
the year.
It has to be because Alex went back and their running game is gone.
Because Oregon's, like you said,
11 wins decades in a decade, two 11-win seasons.
Because, like you said, Scott, Oregon's down this year. Ohio State, I think, is going to be a little down this year. So there's potential for them to win the Big Ten. And the SEC is going to be chaotic. Let's just call it like it is. It's not going to be clear cut. I know people are hyping up Texas like it's the second, like they're the second coming. But guess what? This Texas team has only been good 1 year. One year, 2005.
Talk it.
I mean, come on. Because literally, I heard a story yesterday. Some people were saying, Texas was brought into the SEC because of their football lineage. I'm like, they have no football lineage. You take out that 2005 team, they have no football lineage. They brought Texas over for their oil money. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's because Texas makes money and they
Texas,
get their own
Texas draws money. Let's be honest. Let's call it like it is. I mean, one championship in 54 years. Come on now. Gotta be better than that.
So Nevada plus 44.5 is minus 105.
Oh, that's not bad.
Penn State minus 44.5 is minus 115.
Okay.
The over under is 57.5.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes your 5 teams of over under. Now, we're just a couple weeks away. Guys, from week 0, from college football starting. We're looking at, is it the August 23rd? Yeah, August 23rd. That's 2 Saturdays from now. 2 Saturdays from now. So next Saturday, we'll let Alan do a CFP preview because he really wants to do a CFP preview. We will allow him to do a CFP preview. But on top of that, we will start getting some lines out for you. We'll start making some bets for week 0. So get ready. Next week, we're going to start placing those bets in for those games, and we're going to identify a small handful of games that we are going to place some money down on, and you as well. Okay. But we're going to let Adam get a CFP out.
By the way, Tanner, there is somebody who wants to come on and talk about that LSU Clemson matchup at the beginning of the year.
Oh yes. We have a special guest that would like to come on if he's available Saturday morning from all his travels around the world.
Right.
Is Grish?
We won't do it next week. We'll reach out and we'll aim for on week 0 have a small little segment for him. Come on, talk his stuff, and then we'll let him do his thing. So I'll be happy to have him as a guest on Lock It In. So I know exactly who you're talking about. So yeah, we'll make sure to get him on there. But yeah, next week we'll identify some lines. We'll identify some bets. We'll identify some props. I might have some props for you by then. So
do you think our mystery special guest will go with Clemson? Do you think he'll pick Clemson?
I think so. I think he's a big Clemson guy. I think
I know for what. I know one thing for sure. He's picking a Tiger.
You're not lying there. You're not lying there. So, but yeah. So we'll start betting for week 0 next week. Here we'll get Alan's CFP preview on top of it, and have a little fun with it. So it's almost here, guys. It's almost here. Be ready.
Let me get my scissors out.
Let me get my scissors out. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. We'll catch you tomorrow right here on Lock It In on the Record and Sports Hub, and we'll be doing a mock draft. We'll be doing once again a mock draft. Audience involved here, 15 to 18 rounds here. No kickers, no defense. Only look for playmakers around here, and we'll be doing that live in the morning. So
we will be drafting head coaches, by the way, just people so you know.
There you go. Drafting head coaches, and I wonder who goes number 1 overall. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out. We'll see you.
Go Tigers.